Sure, this will do.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi.
Okay, so first thing we should start with is your name. So I'm going to ask you about yourself.
Should I look at you or at the camera?
We should look at each other.
Okay.
And then we can if you want to. You know. So we're
Okay, for real.
We're here today going to talk about Soul Academy. So this is Casey Bayne, my
Hello.
sister. Okay, let me start again. I'm sorry. I don't know how to start it. This is the hardest part. I just need some form of intro
Got
for the
you.
video.
Okay.
So
What if we said this? Ready? Okay. Hi, I'm Casey, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Soul Fitness Academy, and I'm here with my sister, Sunny. Hey, Sunny.
Hi, Casey. Hi, I'm Sunny Bayne, and I'm the head trainer at Soul Fitness and the co-owner at Soul Academy. And Casey,
I'm the director of education at Soul Academy, and I used to be a science teacher for 10 years, so I have a degree in education, and I'm super excited to get to bring that into this new field.
awesome. So talk to me a little bit about your role of director of education at Soul Academy.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't know, because we can just talk about it and then I can clip up anything that we want.
Okay, go ahead and ask me that again. Or do you want me to just answer it?
You can answer it however you want. So talk to me about your role at Soul Academy. So
Take back.
So you're the director of education at Soul Academy. So talk to me a little bit about what you did before Soul Academy.
So before Soul Academy, I did all kinds of things, but my biggest career was in education. I taught a lot of different subjects, mainly middle school, and I really loved it. I have a huge passion for teaching and learning and the whole process of education, and it was a very, very difficult decision to leave that field and come to this, but I have had such a great team of support here at Soul. I love working with you and with the rest of the team here, and I feel like I couldn't be happier. This really brings all the things I'm passionate about with education, and I still have those with a lot of additional freedoms and things that I like in this career that I didn't get when I was in education. So I don't know, it's kind of a little bit of a bridge between where I was and where I am now, but it has been the best journey. So
that's great. So talk to me about now. So you were a teacher over a decade. What just out of curiosity, what subjects did you teach?
So I was certified in science and social studies, but an interesting thing was before I became a teacher, I had a really big passion for education, and I think it started with actually my experiences working in childcare before that. And I know a lot of people do this childcare to public school teaching or just a degree in teaching pipeline, and I just think that's so fascinating. But I loved working with little kids, and then I decided to go to school to become a teacher. So in school I worked a lot with adult learners, and one of the programs that I was in, we helped tutor people who were interested in taking naturalization tests to become citizens, and they were all adult learners. So I really liked that. I had a lot of joy in that. And then I finished my degree and started to teach middle school science and social studies. But of course I got to teach other really cool things. We had a whole class one year where I just taught about gardening and things like that, which I'm really passionate about, sustainability and environmentalism and gardening and things like that too. And then, I also taught things I had a class that was just math, and even though I'm not certified in that, it was an extra course, so they asked us to teach that, and I thought that was really fun. And we do a lot of interdisciplinary work in middle school, and we pull in all different subjects within our content area. So in science, the students were doing a ton of reading and writing and journaling and creating projects and artwork and presentations. So I feel when you're a teacher, you kind of teach a little bit of everything.
That's awesome. So talk to me about, now that we've talked about where you were and working with little kids, talk to me about why you decided to become a personal trainer.
So it was actually all because my little sister forced me to start working out years and years ago, and it took her, Sunny, a while to convince me to actually do it. But then I came to my first workout with her, and it almost killed me. I was I don't know, this is so hard. But I was not fit. I never worked out in my life, and I was let's go hard, and we did, and I didn't realize how much I needed it. But I just kept coming back because I loved it. And I remember like I started in May, and it was like school started back in August. And that first year I started working out, like I was just going to the gym a few times a week. That was the change that I made. And I had already like lost some weight and gained some muscle. And more importantly, like I felt like I had more energy. And I remember when school started back in August, like I was parking as far away in the parking lot as I could, because I was like, I'm just gonna get some extra steps. And like I had never cared about that before. I'm like, put me by the front door. I'm ready to get out of here. And I remember like that first week of school is always, every single year, so hard. And I would leave and just feel trashed, like I had been beat up. And I had to like just hobble out to my car exhausted with like my bags of stuff or whatever, and get in my car and drive home and just like crash. And I remember that first year I started training, I like left work, got in my car, and I felt like so energized and good, and like I had a great rest of the day. And like my friends were all texting me who were teachers, and they're like, oh, I'm just now leaving, I'm so tired, I can't wait to go to bed. And I was like, I actually feel really good this year. And so that kind of trend, that first initial like, oh my God, this is changing my life, like it excited me to be more fit and to get into fitness for like years after that. So I've just maintained it, and it made such a big difference for me that I felt like really, really passionate about wanting other people to do that. And that's kind of where it all started. But as you can imagine, like taking a whole career that you have a pension in, and you have health insurance in, and you've done for a decade, and you're very good at, and you're at the top of your game in that career, and you're already like thinking about what you're gonna do with that next, and then to be like, actually, I just wanna totally do something different, it's really scary. And it takes a lot of time to like consider your options. And for me, it was just like, I will not be happy if I don't know where this road could take me, and I just like stay where I'm comfortable. So that's kind of how it started for me and how I got here. And I've just taken the choice that was a little bit scary a couple of times, and every time like I find more sound footing and just like this great support team and all the structures in place for me to be really successful here with you and with the rest of the team.
Love that.
Yeah.
So talk to me then about, so you were teaching and you were really passionate about it, and then you changed your entire career to fitness. What about your life do you love? Let's say, and of course you love to teach and you love working with kids, but like, what's the difference now in your life? Like, what do you enjoy about it? Like, what do you enjoy about being a trainer versus being a teacher?
Yeah. One of the things that I really love that has made the biggest difference for me is that now I work with a small team of creative people who really have the same like motivations and heart and soul and mission that I do. And because we're a small team of people who are willing to do what it takes to do our very best every day, if like one person on our team has an idea, it can like, we can talk about it and we can manifest it and make it happen in its full completeness of what we can do. And I feel like when I was a teacher, I was part of such a huge, very important, amazing system, but like huge, top down, like you're just the tiniest little piece of something. And so it was really hard to make effective change in that system outside of your little classroom, and sometimes even within your classroom, though I was fortunate enough to work in a school that gave me a lot of autonomy. Like it was only within my walls. And I feel like here, I feel like if I bring an idea to the team, or if anyone else does, we like all jump in and like find out if it's viable and give our opinions and brainstorm for a while. And then like if it's a good idea and we end up wanting to do it, it like actually happens in the real world and relatively quickly. And that is something that I think I really need to feel happy in a career. So that was a big change for me that I really, really liked. But just to walk you through a day in my life, like I got up today when I felt like it. I didn't have to set an alarm because I have chosen to work a later shift here at Soul. And it's a very popular time of the day for clients. So some of our trainers come in and they prefer mornings. They work really early and then they're off. I prefer the evening shift. So I like made coffee and hung out with my dogs, and I was there for an appointment for a home inspector to come in and check a project this morning. And I got to, did I already say clean the house? I may have.
You haven't said that yet, no.
did that. Yeah, I did a little bit of like online shopping that I need to get done. I got out our meal prep because I have time to do that now, and I like put that in the crock pot and let it heat up so it's going. And like it was just the most cool like casual day. And then I came in here today. We have a little bit of filming to do, and then I'm going to train this evening, and then I'm going to go to roller derby practice. And like absolutely none of those things would be possible for me as a teacher. I would have my normal day as a teacher was like, you get up super early, you go to the gym and work out, which I now get to do like anytime I want. But I used to have to do it at 6 a.m. And then I would shower at the gym, and then I would rush to work, and then I would teach a class. And I would be like, okay, I gave that all of my effort. And then those kids would walk out the door and 30 more would come in. And I would give that all of my effort and like do my very best for that hour. And then they would walk out, and then 30 more would come in. And then I would have a planning period, and I would have meetings or have to go cover another class or whatever. I'm just running around, and I'm like not eating all day. And I'm really a big fan of intermittent fasting because it means I can keep my weight down even though my metabolism's crashing, but I don't have to plan any food, and I don't have time for that in my life because I'm teaching. And then I do that like 7 or 8 times throughout the day, those repeating classes. And then at the end of the day, I am so overstimulated and just like tapped out from all that energy flow all day long, and the high needs and everything, that like there just was not anything left for me at the end of the day. So I would just hit that couch or whatever, and I'd just be like useless. And so there was no cleaning or meal prepping or enjoying my wife or my animals or, you know,
your house,
my life, my house.
Home. Yeah.
I was not sitting outside and, you know, enjoying a little fire pit. And no, I'm like crashed out in bed. I wasn't reading books. Like now I'm in a book club and I play a fun sport, and I, you know, like it's just so much more joy.
So
in
much more
life.
freedom.
Yes. I'm a big proponent of like having autonomy. It's so important to me, and this gives me that in like so many ways.
Yeah, and then like one time Casey calls me, or she calls me, I was like, what are you doing? And she's FaceTiming me, and she has a little kiddie pool sitting out in the sun on her porch, and she thought, oh, just sitting here drinking her coffee in the sun or whatever.
Yeah,
it was, her tea or whatever. Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, that's another thing too about the difference between teaching and training is like, in training, there's just this constant well of support and emphasis on you being healthy. Not because you need to be an example to draw in clients, but because we want to give our clients the best we can. And to do that, we have to come from a place of like caring about our bodies and our minds and our souls. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with teaching, it was just like this huge culture of like teachers and drinking. And like, you're going to
get stressed out.
So stressed out.
And it's not necessarily their fault because they have so many kids, which is a wonderful thing to do, but it's like that's what I was going to ask next about your nervous system. So that to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, your nervous system as a teacher. So talk to me about your nervous system as a teacher versus like how your nervous system, well, you've already said how your nervous system is now, but like, I mean, as now an educator on the nervous system, what would you say to that?
Oh man, I didn't really understand like how much my life was functioning in like a fight or flight mode. I don't know if any of you...
Or even maybe freeze fawn too.
Oh, for sure.
Like fawning is people pleasing all day. Oh yeah, I'll do that.
But you know me too well. Yeah. No, okay, so yeah, like as an educator, there's definitely a lot that I didn't notice when I was actually doing the job that was absolutely fight, flight, freeze, or fawn responses, because I was just constantly in that part of my nervous system. And since moving into training, like the things I had done to survive that type of job and that environment were really unhealthy habits and things that I didn't realize were a result of those things. So then once I switched into a career that was like totally different on the nervous system, I started to not need those dependency things so much, and like was able to actually work through like some of my own traumas and reasons why I was having like nervous response things that are unrelated to education too, but I could have never worked on that in that environment because I couldn't get out of that state. Yeah.
Got you.
So I know so many of my friends who are the most amazing, hardworking teachers who go in every day and like give everything they have to their students, and like I just I feel for them because I know that in the career they're in, it's really, really hard to actually like calm down your nervous system because it's just nonstop every day. And that's not really just teaching. Like there are so many people out there, like people in the medical industry, like nurses and doctors and people who work in like that middleman, like management role in different companies, like running operations and stuff. Like, I just feel like there's so many careers in our culture that just suck the life right out of you and like take everything that you have to give and then just kind of test the boundaries on how much more. And I feel like it's really nice to just fully skirt that whole system and do something totally different. And it makes me feel really liberated and like able to grow and work on myself. Yeah.
That's great.
I know.
That's great. Is there anything else you want to say right now? Are you thinking of anything else to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay. Then my next question would be, talk to me a little bit about, now that we've kind of talked about that, talk to me about your role as working in the academy and being the director of academy. What is that role now, and what do you see for the future of academy?
Yeah. So one of the things about my role now is that I get to take like my years and years of experience delivering education to people and helping them understand and like learning in that role how to break things down and reach every different type of learner you could ever imagine. And like leaving all of that was so hard for me, but I found that in this role I can like take that stuff with me and deliver it to different people for different reasons, but it still like fills that box that brings me a lot of joy. So one of the things that I do currently is manage the student aspect, so like student content relationship, and help make sure that they're getting that content in a way that works for them. Currently, the company that we are working with, Soul Fitness is working with, is NASM, who is like absolutely one of the best companies providing education in a CPT capacity.
Tell us about Soul Academy.
Okay, so Soul Academy is our academy that we started out of passion and industry experience through several people that work here at Soul. And what we do is we help bridge the gap between people who want to become personal trainers, wellness coaches, yoga teachers, things in the wellness industry. And like a lot of people will pay for these certifications and they're like, okay, it's this much, like let me buy it online and I'll learn virtually and take the test, pass it, and become a trainer. But there's several things that like that industry isn't telling people that are a little bit difficult that we help people overcome. So essentially what happens is people buy these certifications and then a huge percentage of them never actually sit and take the test at the end, because accountability, like sometimes online classes are hard, and like if you don't have somebody that is depending on you to show up to class or to learn or whatever it is, or checking in on you to make sure you understand, they just don't take it. They are just like, whatever.
Yeah, that accountability. Or like for me, it was so challenging. I have dyslexia, so I was like, I don't understand. So when I got certified, I was like, Casey, of course, she tutored me all the way through it. So she helped me through it. But the other piece too is a lot of people get into it, and I was like, Casey, you have to be a trainer. It's going to be great. And so then she goes through it and she was like, girl, this CPT is so hard.
I had no
idea. Was like, and I was like, it's going to be easy. It's going to be fine. And Casey was like, Sonny, this is so hard to get through on your own. So anyway, for some people, they get into it and it's very challenging. Like it's not just like an easy certification to get. And I think people maybe believe that it might be easier than what it is.
Yeah. Of the people who actually do the studying and schedule the exam and go to take the exam, there's a very small percentage. I think NASM told us in our last meeting with them, it was like 20% that actually pass that. So it's a really hard test to pass, and a very low percentage of people actually finish the content and go sit the exam. So one of the things we do is provide support for people so that they can get from that goal and that initial purchase of like, okay, I want this certification, I'm gonna get it, to like actually successfully completing that. That's a huge thing that we feel like is difficult in the industry that a lot of people don't talk about enough. And so that's one of the things that we offer. But also, I think the more beneficial thing that we offer is all of the support and accountability you need that is not given to you when you do your online certification. So like you leave that certification, and just like with many careers that you have to be certified to do, the educational component is different than the actual practical component of like doing the work on the job. So we have really, really focused on from getting certification to literally opening our own gym a couple of times now, and like having our own space and operating a business and being professional trainers who know how to do this job really well and have success with clients. And we've like broke that down as we've developed it with me and with Sunny and with many other people that have come in and worked with us now, and created this system of like teaching you the things that are not present in that program that you need to get certified at all. So the learning gap between what you learn to pass the test and what you actually need to know to do the job in real life is huge, and we're filling that gap in this community through Soul Academy and the classes that we offer here. So when you take a class at Soul and you get certified through us, you get certified with an accredited certification, and you get actual practical application that's going to help you be successful in this career and start building your book really quickly.
That's right. We have, like what she's saying too, is we have master classes that we've developed that are, we have them every single month for our students. So we also allow our students that have been through it to continue that education with us, because when you start training people, you can kind of get into a bind where you're like, oh no, I don't know what to do with this body, or I don't know how to work with this issue. Say you can't get the client's deadlift to be fixed. We do clinics on that. We do master classes on all of course, the big lifts, but also the smaller stuff. We also do master classes on how to communicate with your clients and how to do booking and billing and all of that stuff that a lot of people wouldn't think about.
One thing I didn't think about or actually even believe was important was social media, because like as a teacher,
and look at you on here on the camera doing great.
Right? As a teacher though, like I didn't even have social media. I had like a Facebook because like people I've known my whole life are on there, but I did not have TikTok. I did not have Instagram. I didn't care about Snapchat, like none of that. And every year they just brought me my rosters and my students, and I taught them, and I didn't need to attract anyone to me. I just needed to like show up and do my job. And in this career, like you need to be able to convince people to come train with you. And so a huge fear that I had leaving teaching was like, oh, are they gonna wanna train with me? How will I get clients and things like that? And so luckily I was taught how to do effective social media and supported through that, and reminded to do it. And all of that. And so now I've integrated that into our Soul Academy. So there's like some social media training, and you can leave with posts that are ready to go out. And that's not the only way that we bring in clients, but it is one that I overlooked when I started this career and thought would be really easy or really not that important, but it actually was. And so that's kind of another example of something that I think we deliver that's exceptional and absolutely necessary for many careers in the wellness industry.
Awesome. So a big question I have for you now too is, so you've been a trainer for 3 years now. Mm-hmm. You're the director of education at Soul Academy. Mm-hmm. You're really moving in your passion. You've healed all of the things that you want to heal. You've healed your nervous system. You've healed all of these things. So what are you most passionate about in 2025? Like, where do you see yourself going as the director of education and as a personal trainer and nutrition coach? Like, where do you see yourself in the next, let's say, 1 to 3 years?
What I love about this is that this is what we always do, right? We have these conversations, and then like a year later we have to have them again, because whatever we said here has already happened. Yeah. So like I'm like saying this with caution, because I know whatever I say is probably what's going to happen next year. So I take that really seriously. But yeah, I definitely see like my role growing in that I used to have a training book that was like huge all day long, and I've whittled it.
Casey, even though she didn't do her social media, she built her training book. Well, we all did it with Stephanie's help, my help, her help, but she would go and tell everybody she was a personal trainer. She built her book in 6 months. And that's like, if you're a trainer and you're watching this, you know that that's unheard of. So anyway, I'm just saying, good job. You built your book like that, like yeah. Huge book. Everybody loved training with her in the beginning, so
and
that's a huge celebration.
I will say as well that like the 2 people that we've hired most recently to be trainers here that we've kind of been developing have both built their books to completely full in under 6 months. Yeah, they're looking at 3 months and we have a wait list. So yeah. It is a viable career, and like a huge fear I had coming into this was like what I said, can I get clients? But also like I will know this is the right choice when I've surpassed my income that I made as a teacher. And that did take 6 months. So when we say it took me 6 months to build a book, I'm talking about enough of a book to surpass what I made as a teacher, which was a financial goal for me right out of the gates, because I had some issues with money, and like needing that to feel secure, and like having certain income levels and projected goals for my future. And like, it has helped heal that in a way that like now I don't have to think about it as much. And like, I'm just like, I have the freedom to be more creative and to take more risks because I don't have that tie down to financials. Like when you're a teacher though, and a lot of times in other careers, I feel like the income is capped at where you are, but here it's like you can see a direct reflection of the effort you're putting into your career in your paycheck, and it's always kind of building with you, and I love that. So that was a huge deal for me too.
Yeah. So talk to me now about your year from now.
Yeah. So yeah, a year from now, like I see right now my book is already where I want it to be. So we've worked really hard to free up my mornings. Through doing that, we have hired people that have come through our academy that are super high quality trainers that are killing it. So they were able to take a few of my clients that were waitlisted, and we've been kind of building their books. So that's freed me up to focus a whole lot more on the education side of things. So in the next year, my role will shift, and I'm going to keep on training my evening groups that I have now and my private clients in the evenings. But in the mornings, I'm spending more time working on academy. And that is providing support to our students, creating materials for them when we meet in person, and getting geared up for our master classes coming up in 2025.
Whoop.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then let's just talk about, what are your 3 favorite things?
My 3 favorite things: manifesting things that we want and ideas that we have and making them into a reality. Autonomy over my schedule, my time, who I work with. Autonomy in general is my favorite thing. And being in a career with such a supportive system of people who all like have this goal, and it all aligns with like making ourselves emotionally, mentally, physically more healthy and well, so that we can provide better for the community that we love so much.
Awesome. What's your favorite color?
Green.
What's your favorite animal?
Ooh, I like a turtle.
What's your favorite sport?
I'm really into roller derby right now, but I've recently picked up the WNBA along with everyone else. It's been an amazing season.
Who's your favorite athlete on WNBA?
Okay, so I have a few, but like I really, really love Aaliyah Boston.
Okay.
And she's on the Fever with Caitlin Clark. She's amazing or whatever, but like Aaliyah Boston's heart and soul is like so good and genuine, and like I think she's a really, really cool person, and she's a great player.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's your favorite exercise?
Oh gosh. Honestly, I don't know. I like so many things. I'm gonna have to say like a glute bridge, but I mean, also right up there with that is everything else. Like, I don't know, I like it all.
You like deadlifts? No, you like squats.
I like those both. I like bench pressing.
Bench press, okay.
It's hard for me to say. I'm even starting to like conditioning.
Oh no.
I know.
No, I'm just kidding. That's great. How dare you?
I know.
No, that's awesome. Anything else you want to leave on the table for, if say somebody's watching this video and they're like, I really want to join Academy. What's one thing you would say to somebody as a person that had a career? I mean, it can be any age, anybody, but like a person has had a career and then you made this leap. What would you say to them in a few sentences?
I would just say, do it. If you're feeling an urge to leave your career and you want something to do with the wellness industry, like wellness coaching, nutrition coaching, personal training, yoga, whatever that might look like for you, there are probably some really good reasons why you're thinking about it. And I can tell you that I had those same thoughts. I had those same reasons. And since I've made the change and like taken the leap and overcome all of those fears and doubts and just did it, it hasn't let me down. Like, it's been successful emotionally and financially and given me the fulfillment that I've looked for. And so I would encourage you to do it. To get your certification and become a trainer costs less than like a semester's tuition at a college. And you can start a whole new career without that huge financial investment of a new degree. So I definitely think like it is worth you looking into. Do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thanks.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Nice job, Casey.
Thanks. And the camera was at this angle, and all I can see is just leg. Tiny head, leg.
So test the sound with the drills in the back.
Oh, true.
Oh, is this on?
Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
You're all mic'd up. I already tested it when you were in the bathroom and heard your voice memo.
Did you hear me peeing?
No, it was when you were washing your hands. And then I was like, oh, I stopped it. Because it was on both mics. So first thing we should start with is your name. So I'm going to ask you about yourself.
Should I look at you or at the camera?
We should look at each other.
Okay.
And then we can if you want to. You know. So we're...
Okay, for real.